duress, financial duress, physical duress. And doing prohibition of sex work has not stopped it. It creates an environment to exploit the sex worker, and creates more apt to be trafficked.
Well, because we were talking off the air about this, because you were in the modeling business, and we've all seen what goes on behind the scenes in these different kind of businesses and nightclubs and stuff in New York. And we talked. I was a guest on your show talking about the Epstein case and these rich, powerful people in New York who get away with whatever they want. Like, look at that guy, the head of the New England Patriots, who went to that massage parlor down there in Florida, where the girls got arrested or living there like prisoners, and they let him go. So what kind of controls, what would Stacey Prussman do to prevent this kind of stuff? And if you want to hire me to bring me in as a consultant, I'd be more than happy to come to New York and help you out.
First of all, I'd like to do, that is a big issue. It's the big, powerful, and their pedophile rings, and now we're going to get into this whole scene. They're going to go down this dark place. The very basic, so first of all, a lot of trans people are being discriminated against. They walk down the street and they get arrested because they look like prostitutes. There's a law that, if you look like a prostitute, a police person could stop you.
Yep.
I don't know if you heard. Yeah. So, and that discriminates a lot against trans people or women, and women who dress with short skirts, like I used to do. So anyway, and women that dress from Rainbow Shop. So, and so it's kind of that's not right either. In this day and age, people dress any which way they want. So that's one thing. So what I would do is decriminalize sex work. If you want to have happy endings, you get you have to do it you can have a happy ending in a massage parlor, as they call it, but you do it. These places are known, and they can get a rating, or they have to follow certain health guidelines so people don't get disease or whatnot. And you could have legal, massage places, but they don't have intercourse. Those places, they just have massage. And then other places could have intercourse and more involved sexual acts, so to speak. But again, it's not my business to tell you what to do behind closed doors. But I don't want to put too many regulations on two consenting adults, but if it's a place of business per se where they're doing massage, that would be different because it's, a more of a health thing. But that's more of a different type. But if you want that type of massage, I think that should be legal, because I think that it isn't disease. A lot of diseases don't get transmitted that way.
See, the thing, Stacey, the thing is, so many people, when they talk about this issue, they think about it in the abstract and say, well, they're two consenting adults. But I've not really seen that in my life, okay? And I did a whole year-long series of reports about this young woman, Maddie, that was out here who had mental illness, drug addiction, homelessness, and was being sex trafficked. And every time she came into contact with the police, she would be arrested. And then she would be declared incompetent while she was in jail. They'd put her on medications, and they dump her out the door. She's right back in the hands of these same people. She's dead today. She's dead.
Oh my God!
Yep, horrible. 23 years old. And we did everything for this kid. We had both the parents in on. But the thing is, this brings us to the other situation with policing. The policing system in this country is broken. How would you address that? Like I said, this young girl, 80 pounds, okay? And every time she comes into contact, she's arrested.
Well, we're changing the focus on sexual exploitation rather than what they're doing. Like there's sexual exploitation in that world. I mean, the sex work world is really is not a great world for some people. Right? It's not always a girl that went to college that owns her sexuality, chooses to do sex work, or not even college. It's just, someone who has their head together and chooses to do sex work because they don't want to work, in a different type of day job while they're pursuing acting, or, it's not, that's not every sex worker. I know a lot of sex workers that are very intelligent people that have their business together and they make a lot of money and they're happy people and they're sober, or they don't have a drug addiction problem.
Yeah, and you see them on those OnlyFans, where they're taking these trips for $10,000 on these yachts and stuff like that. But that's a very small percentage.
Well, you have to also be careful of that too, because you don't, if you go to another country, you can get really hurt. Like if you go to, Bahrain. You can get hurt going to these countries.
Japan.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm talking about like a girl who works in New York City, and she has some clients, and she has, I have had friends, and that's not the typical sex worker, but there are a lot of girls like that. So those girls, they should be able to work, like how they want to work, and they shouldn't be criminalized. I don't think the sex workers should be criminalized.
Okay,
now, the people that exploit
moving on, because we only have a few minutes left. The policing in New York City, what would you do to...
Well, we need to reform the police to make, they do too much. Well, I've spoken to a lot of police officers, and a lot of, other than changing the different ways they do policing, in terms of the chokeholds and things like that. I think that was, after the Eric Gardner situation, and, the police, I think, do too much, is what I've been told. They become a social worker. They're in charge of, stopping, getting the cat out of the tree.
Right.
Well, that's the fire department, but they, literally their jobs became enormous. So what we were thinking of, sort of, breaking them down to departments, and like, you're not in charge of everything, like having more social workers involved, with the police department. So if there's a domestic violence case, it's a social worker and a police officer together, rather than like de-escalating violence, between people is important. Like, so rather than coming on strong in a violent manner, like that's the last case scenario, if ever. Just changing the way police work, because we don't need as much policing if we do it differently.
I totally hear you. Just simple disputes, arguments, nothing with your neighbor, with the restaurant owner, with the guy that you're trying to return something to the store, and it escalates. The last thing you need is a couple of guys with guns showing up. Okay, that helps nobody.
To de-escalate everything.
Yeah.
Sometimes things are just, people are a little upset. A really good police officer, and then there are really great police officers out there, and there are obviously some bad ones, but there are really good ones out there that need to sort of teach the new, retrain how they're training the new police, and not come in guns a-blazing unless it's like, police were meant to catch robbers and, people, murderers, and that's the first, thing they should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
They're not, domestic dispute people. I mean, obviously when and that's the other thing, when if someone is called for a domestic dispute, how do we de-escalate it, when no one gets killed? Yes, there's hostage situations, that's a whole other story. But in terms of the basic everyday stuff, I believe that, we need to sort of reform the police in that way and give them, split up departments so they're not so overwhelmed. They're not doing a million jobs that they're not really 100% trained to do. And they're not psychologists,
right.
They're not social workers. We should have a mental health unit, a very strong mental health and drug unit on the police force to help people with that.
With addictions and mental illness, like you said.
Addiction. Oh, guys, after this pandemic, do you know how bad? I was reading that the overdose rate was tripled since the pandemic, and a drug addiction. People are relapsed. People can't get beds in rehabilitation centers throughout the country because of the pandemic. So we're going to be leaving this pandemic with a lot of addiction, a lot of poverty, and I hope that I can, nip it in the butt.
Well, Stacey, we got about 1 minute left. What do you want to leave us with?
I want to leave you. Go to my website, PRUSSMANFORMAYOR, Prussman For Mayor, PRUSSMAN. Donate, volunteer. There's a lot of things you can do for the campaign. If you're a New Yorker, send me your ideas. If you have that you might want to see in the city that's changed, I'm always up for suggestions. Sometimes people give me great suggestions, and I love it. I love talking to people. My team is full of, I have very liberal people on my team. I have very right-wing people on my team. I have, a lot of libertarians on my team writing policy. So I want to write policy for all of New York. I want to be a mayor for all of New York. And I hope that you vote for me in November 2021 and follow my journey and donate and enjoy the journey with me. And I hope that we win.
Stacey Prussman for Mayor of New York City's Libertarian Party. If you win, I will definitely move back to New York. I guarantee.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Stacey. I love you. Talk to you soon.
Stay safe.
Bye.
Love you guys. Thank you.
Bye. And now a word from our sponsors. If you find yourself in need of legal representation, it can be a very stressful time in your life. In my career, I have dealt with thousands of lawyers, I've dealt with thousands of law firms, and I can confidently recommend to you Keith M. Davidson at kmdlaw.com. Available 24 hours, 7 days a week. Just log into kmdlaw.com. That's kmdlaw.com. Or you can call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. That's 833-4KMD-LAW. Personal injury, wrongful death, STDs, sexual assault, car accidents. They handle it all efficiently and professionally. It doesn't matter how imposing the opposition may be, because the team at kmdlaw.com are battle-tested and fierce. They will not stop until justice prevails. Go to kmdlaw.com or call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. If you're in for the fight of your life, stop screwing around and contact KMD Law.
Have you ever thought about opening your own mobile cart or kiosk business? Maybe the facility you manage could establish new revenue by adding coffee, food, or retail services. Cart King International can be the answer to your needs. Cart King is a North American designer and manufacturer of the finest mobile coffee, food, and retail carts and kiosks. Cart King has been working with clients and corporations across North America for 20 years, providing innovative designs, custom manufacturing, and timely delivery. Carts and kiosks are fun, and so are the dozens of designs on our website. Please visit us today at www.cart-king.com or just call us at 1-877-986-7771 and get your sales rolling.
PureSoapFlakes.com, 218-568-2525. Have you ever heard of Castile Soap? Pure Soap Flake Company handcrafts fine soap bars, laundry powder, and concentrated soap flakes using organic vegetable oils from their northern Minnesota facility. Bathe your body and wash your clothes with Pure Soap products that are free of fragrance, GMOs, palm oil, sodium lauryl sulfate, and synthetic additives. Keep it clean, folks. Pure Soap Flake Company products are kind to living creatures and sensitive skin, safe for drains and waterways, and work great in high-efficiency washers and top and front-loading machines. They have a little promotion going on. Contact them to order some soap. Mention the Opperman Report. You're going to get a free gift. They're going to send a little extra soap, travel size, soap bars and laundry soap, cleaning soap flakes. I've been using that stuff all day long today. Great stuff. Order today at puresoapflakes.com or give them a call, 218-568-2525, 218-568-2525. Pure Soap Flake Company is a proud member of the Handcrafted Soap and Cosmetic Guild.
Are you ready to change your life, but don't know how to start? Is your stress and worries keeping you awake at night? Have you been battling grief, anxiety, or depression all alone? Have you lost touch with your own sense of being or spirituality? Soul Free Therapies offers professional and affordable live video streaming counseling and coaching services from the comfort of your own home. Sessions offered in English, Spanish, and Portuguese. Go to our website at www.soul-free.com and book your first session today.
The Opperman Report is brought to you by Aquadam.net. You can give them a call at 707-764-2119. A flooded home is never easy to deal with. You're left with the mess to clean up, the insurance companies to deal with, and not to mention all the memories, the precious memories that are lost in the flood. You can never replace those. And Aquadam can be a tool in your arsenal to protect your home and property from the floodwaters. The cofferdam is filled with water to control water and is reusable as long as it's taken care of. It can protect your home or business from rising floodwaters like a dam, but without the beavers. It can also be used in construction. If you need an area to be dewatered, an Aquadam can do the job. An Aquadam was used at SeaWorld in Orlando for the Mako roller coaster ride during the coaster's construction by dewatering the work area. An Aquadam is now dewatering the work area at San Antonio SeaWorld for their newest roller coaster ride. An Aquadam has been used in many construction projects all around the U.S. and all around the world. Now give Aquadam a call, 707-764-2119. You can look them up online at aquadam.net. You can find them on Facebook at Aquadam Inc. You call them up, you email them, you tell them Ed Opperman sent you, and they're going to take 10% off the price. Aquadam.net, 707-764-2119.